Hello and welcome. You are watching QTV and this is the program called This Morning. Now, if you see some unfamiliar faces, we've had what some might call the perfect storm. And so we must apologize for starting late. That's because to some unforeseen circumstances, neither of the two regular presenters are here. And that's why we had a slightly late start. So we hope you won't be too upset that you haven't got Mr. Waltare, Ibrahim Abalde, or Julde Njai, but you do have me, Ari Darami, and my co-host today, Bala Musa Kurbali. Mr. Kurbali, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Ade. Good morning to you and good morning to our viewers, QTV this morning. It's good to be here again after a lovely weekend. I hope
yours was a lovely weekend, was it? I was about to ask you how your weekend was.
Yeah, it was. It was a lovely one, even though yesterday I came to work. But yeah, it was good as well because, on Sundays, work, it's always different, the environment.
Indeed.
And, you get to have time to do a lot of other things.
Okay.
Because, Monday to Friday is always,
it's kind of,
packed.
Yeah, full on.
Yeah.
No, I was here briefly for about 30 minutes, but and I saw lots and lots of people were here. And we have our newspaper guest, our MD, Mr. Malika. Mr. Carr, welcome to the program.
Good morning, my pleasure.
And how was your weekend?
I did, me, as long as I eat good food, I'm good. So, and the weekend, absolutely.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear.
I had a lot of good food all over, so I'm
good. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, mine was, I spent most of yesterday at Sharab because I had I damaged the muscle, the back of my neck, but they gave me some strong painkiller.
Yeah?
Yes, exactly. They gave me some strong painkiller. So if I nod off in the middle of the program, you'll know why. And I hope that doesn't happen. So what do we have on the program? Well, as usual, we have our African proverb, and then we have our newspaper review. And of course, our guest to do that is Mr. Malika, our MD. And then we have from the West African Postgraduate College of Medical Laboratory Science. They're about to have a conference here in the Gambia. It seems to be lots of scientific conferences happening here in the Gambia. That's really a good thing. And then also we'll have somebody from the IEC, Demba Jallo, and he will be talking about this supplementary voters registration, which is still on, ends in May. And there have been some, lots of talk around that. So these are the things that we have. So let's dive into the African proverb, shall we?
Yep.
I think having said what he said about the weekend, there can only be one person who has to start with this. And he'll when he hears it, he'll know why. He says, even the best cooking pot will not produce food. Even the best cooking pot will not produce food.
Absolutely. You need the master chef who knows the ingredients that you'll incorporate to make a good food.
Of course.
The cooking pot, everything can look beautiful, glossy, or if it doesn't have the required skills, you cannot get the result. So it's not about the niceties of what you have. It's about, the skills, what you have, the input that will determine the output as well. So if you have everything glossy, beautiful, you can have a very nice, beautiful car. If you're not a good driver, it will just be a nice, beautiful car. Indeed. So you have to be on the road with it. So it applies in this context.
For me, I will take it at a different
I was going to say, take it, that's the literal, so take it metaphorically.
So for me, I will give a good example of the Gambia today. We complain about a lot of things, in this country. And it's not like we don't have solutions to this problem. Solutions are there, but we don't make best use of them. One is the anti-littering laws. We have them. We have very beautiful laws, these traffic regulations and other stuff. But the implementation, that's what we always talk about. Implementation is a problem. So when you have all these good laws or you have a good system and you don't work towards, making the system work perfectly, it will just be there. On the surface, it will look beautiful, but when it comes, to the implementation, it won't work.
That's a good one. And before I give my version of it, I'll pick up on what Bala has just said, because over the weekend, I emceed and also attended the International Surgical Scientific Conference. And Dr. Ibrahim Wada, world famous, surgeon, mainly to do with fertility and infertility. He gave a speech and he gave a kind of 6-point agenda on how you can do things. And he said something. He said, we have lots of things that can make things work, and it's not always about money. And he gave the example. He said, if, for example, you have a medical theater, an operating theater, and people don't clean it, it'll be dirty and people can get infected. He said, what does it cost you just to have a checklist of things to do to clean it before and after each surgery? He said, that's simple. He said, and yet in many places they don't do it. There's even a World Health Organization checklist that is suggested for all. And he said, you know, it's not about money. You have all the things to have a successful and healthy and safe environment. And yet, because people don't put those things together, you end up having an unsafe environment where should we say?
Yeah, that goes to affirm that everything is about management.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know, where there is no management, you cannot get any results.
Yeah,
so, and management that doesn't necessarily mean managing at the top level. It's applicable at every level.
Yeah,
how you manage humans, how you manage projects, how you manage whatever that is given to you. You have to take full responsibility and cognizant of the fact that if you don't do the right things, the processes, the procedures in place, and it is being followed, then you cannot have something of quality.
Yeah,
so quality at the end of the day is about management, and the end result will always be something that serves.
Yeah. Absolutely. So to give my take on the cooking pot one, I always use the same analogy that if you don't have the right ingredients, then obviously even the pot cannot do it alone. But I always use a kind of football analogy. Whether you believe that Lionel Messi is the GOAT or Cristiano Ronaldo is the GOAT, they alone cannot defeat another football team.
Absolutely.
They need
a team.
A team.
Yeah.
You know, you need, and the team are the other ingredients to make it work, to help them to score those goals and kind of, you know, take the limelight and take center stage. You know, you need.
For me, Messi or the GOAT, they are the ingredient. For me, you can have a team, no matter how good, if you don't have that type of quality of a player, the chef himself to make it really.
Well, that just completes it, of course.
Yeah, but for instance, just take Messi or Cristiano.
But they can't do it on their own. Team. Quite.
They will not perform.
Yes,
they will not. You know,
I don't know. You know, they can make a big difference sometimes.
Maradona used to be able to make a difference.
It's about the mindset as well. Sometimes, you know, knowing that Messi or Cristiano is in a particular team, you know, that gives you the mindset that, it's a good team.
It's a good team,
even though it's not. So, you know, mind games also work in football.
Big time, in sport generally. But thank you for that, gentlemen. We'll go for a quick commercial break because we want to delve into the newspapers, and of course we started slightly late. So once again, we apologize for the late start, but we'll take a commercial break, and after the break, we'll delve into the newspapers. Join us after this break.
In the vibrant heart of the Gambia, where life pulses with energy and connections bind us together, your number is the key that unlocks a world of possibilities. Whether you're chasing dreams, sharing passions, or simply brightening someone's day, your number matters in the symphony of our daily lives. 2 numbers connect us all. What's your number?
Ami Kole maa ngi ni Craft Market Serekunda may jaay ay malaan ay keyring te suma number mooy 522 7306.
Hello and welcome. You're watching QTV and you're watching This Morning. I'm Ade Darami pretending to be Ibrahim Abalde. And next to me, I have Palamusa Kurubali pretending to be Julde Njai. But we have our MD, Mr. Malik Carr, here to do the newspaper review. So, Mr. Carr, let me dive in. I'll start with the Standard, and it's a story that people can see later. It says, Barrow commissions $1.2 billion Kiang West roads, and he hits back at critics.
Because Kiang has long been forgotten when it comes to such facilities, you know, and that he gave the promise at some point that they were going to construct those roads. I think it was within his rights.
A promise made and a promise kept.
And say, look, I've delivered, I promise you, and here it is, you know. And I'm sure the Kiankas would be very happy because roads, like we said the other time, are the arteries of development. Indeed. They open up a lot of things. They open up commerce, they open up movement, they open up. So once you start with those, you know, infrastructural aspects in terms of development, it lays down the trajectory to, you know, more things. A lot of things would have to converge, and then you will have the country transformed, you know, in a very different way. So I guess
Yeah, looking at it from 2021, you know, the president was going around, you know, he laid a lot of foundation stones, and others, you know, saw them as mere political, you know, should I say, campaign.
Yeah, quite.
You know, and he made mention of that because I listened to his speech. He said in 2021, when I was laying the foundation stone for this project, a lot of people said, oh, it was just for him to get your votes.
Yeah,
so he's more than happy to see today that is coming to reality. And like you said, Kiang have been left behind, to be honest, when it comes to national development of this country. From Jawara to Jammeh, they never had electricity. Now, you know, when you're driving through Kiang going to the south bank of the country, you see it's not fully electrified, but at least most villages on the highway now have electricity. And also this road also is very important because Kiang is not just on the highway, because people just focus on those who are on the Kiang is right inside. And this road stretches all the way to the Kabadas. So it's important, like you said, it's open up, you know, Kiang to commerce and other development.
You're right.
And road infrastructure is important.
91-kilometer road, and our colleague Aliou Cissé was there, and he said, you know, this is all the people were talking about. They're telling, and this is not about political campaigning, it's a fact. The people were saying to him, for decades we've had problems, and now we have this road, and they were really, really thrilled. And that's the thing that kind of takes it away from being mere kind of political. It's practical. You know, as you said, these are the arteries of any country. Why should it be any different here?
No. Chinua Achebe once said, you know, a quote from him, the lizard that jumps from the Iroko tree, if nobody praises it, it praises itself. Absolutely. I know, I remember that quote from Things Fall Apart.
Yeah, right.
You know,
and one of the things that Kwame Nkrumah once complained about, he said that, you know, when we talk about development in Africa, he said we should talk about developing our road infrastructure. Because at the time, America had just announced that one day they planned to land on a man on the moon. And he said, just listen to that. The Americans are thinking of landing somebody on the moon. We're still struggling to get from our towns to our main cities and from our cities to our villages. We need road infrastructure. And he nailed it.
Definitely. We need it. We need water. We need electricity. These are infrastructure, especially in this day and age. You cannot do without electricity because you have to connect to the wall. The wall now is very digital. So to access those, you have to have those things. But those things also come along with values. We have to have certain characteristic values. So we focus on infrastructure. Yes, it's good, but also values is what defines and makes people who they are in terms of their agenda of development.
And including the kind of maintenance of these roads, because you and I, we can drive around and we can see some roads that were once upon a time were tarred, but through lack of maintenance and upkeep, they're now kind of half-eaten or you know, they kind of stop in the middle of nowhere.
There comes quality as well. Did we have value for money? That is the role and responsibility of the, you know, engineers, experts, you know, that is why I said values. Protecting the interests of the people to ensure that what you deliver to the people is not just cosmetic. It's something, you know, that is qualitative.
Yeah, remember I was telling you the last time about this new road that connects I should say just maybe 5 meters from my house, all the way stretches to Westfield. I can remember mentioning to you now. I can remember when last I used this, but this highway, what do we call it? It's a Combosilla Drive. I can remember when last I used it. But I noticed last week there is this big hole there. You know, and it was a small one, and now it's expanding. You know, this morning when I passed there, I could not believe it. Vehicles had to squeeze to the other side to be able to pass. And I'm like, the authorities wouldn't say they wouldn't see this. So if you don't fix that, then it's a new road.
And when comes the rain,
then it's going to be worse. Then the road is not going to be accessible because it's right in the middle of the road. So I think some of these things, like you said, maintenance, you know, and also quality. You know, we need roads, you know, very good roads, but also the quality is very important, and also maintenance all the time. You know, it starts from a small pothole, then it becomes a big one. So
so these roads they build, please, quality is the emphasis. Let's make sure that we have engineers that are competent, that look at the type and quality of road that is built. It's not just to go and take photograph and so all these things need not be cosmetic. It has to be qualitative.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So staying with the standard, we have a guest later on from the IEC. But top left, it says Usainu Dabo, says the IEC has so far done nothing illegal. I'm not sure anybody had said they had. So I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Because if anybody's been living outside of the Gambia, we're still on the supplementary voter registration drive. And there had been, allegations of people not being able to register and so on from different aspects, and different people complaining. But he's saying that so far they've done nothing illegal, the IEC. We'll ask the IEC chap, Demba Jallow, when he comes.
The IEC is just a scapegoat in more ways than one, because the electoral laws are very clear. Sure. You have to be a Gambian. You have to go back to the law and look at the definition of what a Gambian is. If you meet that criteria, nobody have the right to stop you to register, to acquire your voter's card and exercise what is your sovereign right. Your right to go and elect and also be elected. So I think what they need to look at for me, that includes all political parties, all parts, they have to revisit everything, especially when it comes, I mentioned it last week, issues of attestation and these things. They have to be phased out.
Absolutely.
Completely. Once that is done, then we can start a journey of, plain, open, and very transparent. And once the registration is done also in every polling station, it's required by law that they are posted. Everybody can come and scrutinize, look at the names. Gambia is not a big community. Within your own area, you would be able to tell who is who. If you find names and addresses, people do not live there, you can raise the flag. You can challenge them.
No, but for me, I don't think you can do that. Because, for instance, me, I am from Basse. I live in Talinding. But I'm going to get my voter's card here in Latrikunda, because the reason why I'm going to Latrikunda is because on election day I'll come to work, so it's easy for me to go there and vote. Even though in 2021 I registered in Basse, I know I'll not be able to travel to Basse, so I'll go and register. So someone from Latrikunda, if you go and you see Balamusa Krubali, and you say, oh, Balamusa is not living in Latrikunda, I don't think you can do that.
No, but they can, even if they challenge it, later on Balamusa Kurbali will prove that I have all the necessary. It's up to them who they want to challenge.
But anyway, like you said, I think that if you have your valid Gambian documents, just like I see on social media trending, they show pictures of people who are alleged to be minors, registering and all that. Like the IEC cannot, if you come with your valid ID or your valid birth certificate and it indicates that you are 18, IEC will not turn you down just because you look like a kid. And also it's important for people to know. Some other people might look like they are below 18, but they can be, I know people who look younger than their age.
But those are the issues that you can challenge to the revising courts. That's what I'm saying. If you have doubt about somebody, it's your right to list that person. Do not even have to interfere with the rights of that person. But go to the revising courts and challenge that ABC, I suspect that they are underage, then the courts will be able to determining.
Yeah, definitely. Revising courts, that's why they are there.
So look at it.
And I know this is not Gambia. And interestingly, at the bottom left of it says IEC wants parties to comply with electoral laws or face sanction. But what you gentlemen have just been discussing, just yesterday I saw this really shocking video from South Africa where yet again South Africans are going a kind of vigilante and beating up, people from Nigeria, Ghana, and so on. And
Zimbabwe.
Yes, and they stopped this guy, and the guy, a citizen, said to the guy, "Show me your papers." To this Ghanaian guy, the guy has a small shop, and people were slapping him, and then he took out his papers, and then he showed him authentic papers. No, there's no way. You must have bribed an official. Tell me the official you bribed and how much you bribed them to get this. And the guy said, "I didn't bribe anybody. You can see it's authentic." That kind of nonsense is going on in South Africa. Is there a law stopping South Africans from opening a corner shop? These lazy people who don't want to do anything. People come there and it said, we don't want any. And then one woman then piped in. And this was all in front of the cameras. This woman piped in. We don't want people coming from other parts of Africa to come and live and work in our country. They can go back and live in their own country.
Fix their countries. I saw the video. The lady is actually an activist, very popular one for that matter. So, but I listened to Botswana's president this morning. I think he just nailed it. He said, most of these people who leave their countries to come to your country, if you look at some of them, you said, okay, they're drug dealers and all that, but some of them are skilled. People who have skills, they come to your countries, they add to the development of your country. You need them. He gave an example of the guy who was trying to attack, this one is from Zimbabwe, and they asked him, do you have a job? He said, no, because these people come and take our jobs. He said, okay, what skill do you have? No, I don't have any skill. And that guy happens to be someone with skills. You know, you meet him at his workshop because so he said, you know, those things are things that we should stop. In Africa, we try to promote this. Is it free trade, free movement, Pan-Africanism and all that? And we see this coming from an African country. It is definitely embarrassing.
I mean, 2 years ago, Malema was one of those who, again, he nailed it for me when he came out and he spoke out against this. And he said, some guy comes from Zimbabwe or Ghana or Nigeria and he opens a barber shop. Who's stopping a South African from opening a barber shop? Nobody. How are you going to attack that guy and say, you know, he shouldn't? It's ridiculous. They burnt down these places out of just envy that these people are there to work and they work hard and they earn an honest living by their sweat. You do the same.
We saw the last one in what didn't happen in Nigeria. We saw Nigerians, you know, also went out to attack, you know, South Africans in Nigeria. But then Buhari was in power. What he did, I love it. He came out. You know, they stopped it. You know, they refused for that situation to escalate, you know. And most of they targeted those who were working in South African companies. Even though they were not South African, because some of them were working in South African companies. So these things are very dangerous.
All these are an indictment of failure of systems. The African governments have failed the African people, and that is why the competition for mega resources, the fight, the migration, all these things are existing. They're existing because they cannot provide for their people. They cannot provide for their people because they are very corrupt, highly corrupt. And because they are highly corrupted, they are not utilizing the resources of South Africa is very rich. It's one of the richest countries in Africa. And the people are marginalized. So because of they are ill-informed and they are marginalized, they tend to have that myopic way of interpreting things. So they become, you know, very hostile against people who are foreigners.
I mean, the government announced yesterday that they're going to crack down on this kind of vigilantism. We'll see whether they do it or not.
Mr. The video I saw, these vigilantes were running and the police were running side by side with them.
Yeah, because some of them, you know, some of them support them. So they're not going to arrest them.
That's what I'm saying. Regardless, they have to address the issues of unemployment, the issues of corruption, the issues of democratic accountability. Once these things are in place, the African youth will not have that ill-conceived, you know, idea of attacking your fellow Africans. You know,
I think Malema so far have done more than the government in trying to, you know, stop this situation. Kind of you know, to be honest,
and
because he came out to say, you know, you cannot attack these people. These people are Africans like you. You were in a very bad situation in South Africa. Don't forget, like yesterday, you were in need of these people.
And hosted all over
and all these people came for it. He gave example of Zimbabwe. Zimbabweans opened their doors. We were living in their homes. They were giving us food. They took care of us until now. We see a little bit of change. We haven't still gotten the change that we want, but at least we've seen a little bit of change. So now that we are in that change and we think we are okay, we don't need them, and we want to send them back to their countries. Let's not forget. And you know, he went on attacking the government, saying the government is allowing this to happen.
Because South Africa, you have to understand, Bala, a lot of the youth there are marginalized. They live in shanty towns. If you see the conditions in which they live, you will be shocked. Because there are no good schools, no education, no good housing, no nothing. And South Africa is very rich. So if you live in this type of contradiction, it's very easy to pick on the outsider. And that happens even in Europe, all over the world. When things get tough, the first casualty is the outsider. You look different. You are not the same with us. You come from a different place. So you are the problem. But they are not the problem. Where the South African youth should focus on is on their government, their policies, their programs.
Let's not turn this into a South Africa only show.
To alleviate the condition.
Because something very important happened over the weekend. Mali, we'll go on to Mali, but I think a huge one. Government launches national initiative to combat misinformation and fake news. And it was the National Misinformation and Disinformation Response Center. Unfortunately, the document they gave me says Register Center, but it's actually Response Center, and center is not spelled that way in this country. So please, can you rectify? It's a beautiful book you gave us.
That's the American spelling,
and
right?
we're not Americans.
Yeah, but it's center. It's fine. It's okay.
But on a more serious note, it's Response Center. But Mr. Carr, what's your view on that?
Yeah, you know, we live in an era where everything is digital and everything moves very quickly and very fast. and we have AI generating images, generating voices. So everything is jumbled up. You cannot distinguish fact from fiction. So if you have centers like this that are completely unbiased, not prejudiced, just looking at facts to evaluate and establish what is factual, you know, then it's good. But what we don't want is it being used as an institution of manipulation, of, you know, also representing the very thing that it's here to fight against. Yeah, but it's important because now the way that news is being cooked, information is being trafficked, it's very jumbled up, very confusing. And things move very quickly and very fast. Before you realize that what you have shared is fake, it has already gone viral.
I'll give you the perfect example. Almost every WhatsApp group that I belong to over the weekend shared an image of what they said was the president of Equatorial Guinea kneeling down before the Pope.
I saw that.
100% fake. It's AI generated. It's a deep fake. And yet it went viral. It went viral.
But also the point, a lot of people don't notice this, but most of these digital platforms, most of it for Facebook and Instagram, when you post something that is an AI-generated image or text, it indicates, most of the time, just look, it indicates at the top, AI info.
Yeah, that's right.
It indicates up there, AI info. So a lot of people don't pay attention to this. They just see it and they pick it up and say it. But going back to the response, misinformation response center, it's important for us to have something like this because, you know, we now see people just generate stuff like you said and share and all that. But I also had the same concerns, like you said, okay, if this is going to be controlled by the government, how are they going to do? But I listened to it. I heard the minister say, you know, this is it's completely different. They have independent, you know, organization.
Because I was going to say last week we had where Mr. Kai is sitting, the guy who designed it, and he explained exactly that it's not government control. They don't retain anybody's information.
How is
the way
funded?
It's built in? It's funded by ECOWAS. Is funded by ECOWAS, and Gambia is the first country in the sub-region to have it. And ECOWAS hope that as time goes on, other countries will, you know, adopt it. But Gambia is the first, so it's a big thing.
And also, I saw that it's AI powered.
That's right.
You know, so
so it's not controlled by people.
By people, it's AI completely. So because with AI, it's easy for you to, you know, deal with all these things because most of the informations come from the internet, and the internet. AI is fully involved. Even when you use AI to generate stuff and all that, you see AI will usually tell you sources. Like when you ask for the info, it will give it to you and it will tell you where it is taking it from. So with that, I believe, you know, it will be able to tackle.
You can even fact check
yourself.
Definitely. And it can fact check everybody. So it's not just government that fact checks.
Now the tools that are available, like you said, but the way information moves is so fast.
Really fast.
Before you even realize one thing is gone stale, you have moved to the other thing. So you have to be, you know, very alert and very aware and very critical when you give you information. You know, and so
now that we are in the election
we have yes, indeed, we have less than 2 minutes, but I think we have to deal with the one you mentioned, which is Sadio Camara in Mali. The Minister of Defense has been killed. A suicide bomb that was quite powerful. Not only destroyed his house, destroyed the mosque next to it.
And his second wife as well.
And his second wife died. And two of his grandchildren.
And so they've declared this morning 2 days of national mourning.
It's a tragedy, you know. It just goes to confirm that, you know, these people came to power because they were arguing that the government that was there was unable, incapable of handling the insurgency. And now what we have seen is the insurgency completely outrunning them because they had, at least the previous government had support of the French, you know, that were there, intelligentsia and all that. But what it goes to show is, you know, Africa, especially the sub-region, is very unstable. And Mali is sharing borders, a long border actually with Senegal, and it's very close to home. And these jihadists, you know, have now formed a coalition. Is
with the Tuaregs.
And these people, they live in the desert. It's a very difficult terrain. and it's vast.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you fly over and look at the desert, it's endless.
Yeah,
it's like the wall. It just goes on and on.
Yeah,
you hardly see or know where these people stay or live. So they can just organize motorbikes, this, and then come and launch attacks.
And one of the things, you talked about the French leaving, one of the things that's happened overnight is that the Russians, who were supposedly Wagner Group, who were there, they've now negotiated to be given safe passage out.
Yeah.
So they're going to kind of leave the people behind, abandoning them. But they've negotiated safe passage for themselves to leave the area.
With the jihadis, I was surprised. I saw it on Al Jazeera. I was like, wow. So they were not fighting actually. They were negotiating for them to
the government is shaking to its very core. And this is a matter of concern to West Africa.
Indeed.
It should be a matter of interest. I know the Sahelian countries, they are saying, we are forming this group, but they cannot do it.
They cannot.
They don't even have the resources. They don't have
ECOWAS,
the
put out a statement, last night.
They cannot do it.
So condemning it and saying, you know what, we have to come together and fight this. And I think that's the way forward.
They have to, but they have to come also with conditionality that they must have to reform the democratic structure, because whatever you say, it goes back to the same thing. It's usurpation of the authority, of the sovereignty of the people. And once you do that, it undermines the very fabric of society and things fall apart. And this is what is happening. All these societies, these structures are no longer operational.
Producer tell me he's going to cut our mics in a minute. Gentlemen, thank you. This is really interesting topic. And we'll take a commercial break. And when we come back, the program continues. Do not go away. Join us after this break. Hello and welcome back, and hope you enjoyed the discussion we had there about Mali and other things. Now on to our next segment. The West African Postgraduate College of Medical Laboratory Science is to have a conference here in the Gambia. And just before you came on, I was saying to somebody upstairs, Gambia seems to be becoming this kind of scientific hub, because last week we had the International Surgical Scientific Conference, which was fantastic, really well attended, and even as a layperson, I really enjoyed it. And now we have your conference. So please welcome to the program, Mr. Modu Lamin Keita. And it says here, Chairman of the West African Postgraduate College of Medical Laboratory Science. You're very, very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so please tell us about the conference. It's a 2-day conference.
Yeah, it's a 2-day conference. It's going to be on the 29th and the 30th. The conference is, we are going to, first of all, install the Gambia chapter of the West African College. Right. Now, let me give you a brief idea about the West African Postgraduate College. Now, the college has been in existence for almost 5, 6, 7 years.
Okay.
And also, Nigeria has had its chapter. Ghana also has had its chapter.
Okay.
Now, this is the time Gambia is going to have its chapter.
Okay.
Now, at this conference, it's going to be, the theme of the conference is going to be laboratory stewardship, antimicrobial resistance, and the public health aspect.
Okay.
Now, when we talk about, I don't want to go into the scientific details, but in a short distinct, antimicrobial resistance, you see, when we become challenged with microbes, bacteria, viruses, and parasites, as time goes on, we become challenged.
Yes, yes.
These organisms develop resistance, and the resistance becomes a challenge to us as a community.
Yes.
Then the public health aspect comes into play. Now, what do we do as laboratory scientists? That's when we say laboratory stewardship. Now, the stewardship will take care of these challenges. Okay, so the theme of the conference is about that. Now, the second day, we are going to have a training session at the MRC.
Okay.
And at MRC, we are going to show budding scientists in the Gambia genomics, or how genomics treats this antimicrobial resistance. So, in a nutshell, these 2 days will be capturing these issues on the conference. Now, on the conference, we are going to have induction of scientists. These are eminent scientists who have been working in the Gambia. They are PhD holders, master's degree holders, and they are going to be inducted as fellows of the college.
Are they both Gambians and non-Gambians?
Gambians and non-Gambians. We are going to have 6 participants from Senegal, Nigeria 4, Sierra Leone 2, Liberia won, Ghana. Unfortunately, they have been bereaved, so they couldn't come to the conference.
Okay.
But this is going to be a very big conference. The induction, we will infer fellowship on these scientists.
Sure.
In all, it's about 25 scientists. Okay. And in attendance, we will have the WHO rep, who is going to be the keynote speaker. We are also going to have the Minister of Higher Education, the Minister of Health, and other dignitaries. Okay. So in short, this is what the conference is going to be about.
Right. Now, anybody who's been watching QTV for the last 4 or 5 years, they're experts on antimicrobial resistance because we've done so many stories. So they'll be smiling when they hear you talk about stewardship and so on. But also, if I could touch, I hope you can touch on this. About a couple of weeks ago, it was announced about an online portal for CPD, continuous professional development. Will that also be something that will be dealt with, addressed with at this?
Yeah, in fact, one of the mandates of the college is to train scientists to professional level.
Right.
Now, when you become a fellow or a laboratory scientist, you are supposed to be having CPD programs, online CPD programs. In fact, all professionals, you know, CPD is essential.
Yes, so please, continuous professional development, if anybody thinks we're
continuous profession. This is essential for you to be up to date with your profession.
Yes, indeed.
Be it even journalism.
Anything, exactly. Yes.
So this is an essential part of the program. And the college is going to sign an MOU with the University of the Gambia, an MOU with MRC, because they are going to start training laboratory scientists to fellowship level.
Right, okay.
And CPD also, if you are a fellow or a PhD holder, you should be having CPD programs.
Right, okay.
Continuous professional development.
Now, just before you came in, we were, Bala wants to come in. Do you want to come in?
No, yeah, I was just going to, I just needed some clarification here. Is it just for laboratory technicians or scientists, you will call them, but not other people who are involved, you know, like pharmacists or other stuff?
No, this is mainly laboratory scientists.
Just laboratory scientists.
You know, West African Postgraduate College is an underarm of WAHO, the West African Health Authority. It's just like how you have the West African College of Physicians, West African College of Nurses. Then, you know, we have the West African Postgraduate College as well.
Okay.
And it's mainly for laboratory scientists in the Gambia.
Okay, that's good.
Now, we talk about laboratory sciences. Before you came to the program, we were having a discussion regarding the surgical conference the other day, and they mentioned something which they refer to as the World Health Organization checklist, that they said is good practice for you know, people in particularly operating theaters to have this checklist and go through it before and after every operation. Regarding laboratory scientists, is there a similar thing? Regarding, you know, because, you know, people hear all these things, they think about, you know, microbes and things escaping from labs and so on. So is there a similar thing regarding checklists to safeguard both those who work there and the public?
In fact, laboratory stewardship is all about that. How we manage the laboratory, how we deal with the patients. From the time the patient comes to the lab up to the time he gets his lab results, the control mechanism has to be there. You know, this is what when we talk about laboratory stewardship. Now, when you talk about quality control, we have what we call quality control or quality management. Now, from the time the patient comes in, let's say, for example, the sample is being collected from the patient to the time that the results are being delivered, there has to be steps of quality control down the line until the patient gets his results, and also about confidentiality. See, this is why laboratory science is a very technical, but also there are a lot of dimensions to it, you know, because when you release results, those results have to be very, very confidential. You cannot come and say, I want my wife's lab result. You know, but in the Gambia here, people, we take for granted. This is my wife, I want his. But from the lab level, this is not allowed. So quality control is down the line, it is maintained.
And that is something that again came up at the conference, because certain people presented papers and then people from the audience asked questions did you anonymize the people whose details you've shared and so on? And of course they did, you know, the ones who said, yes, completely anonymous. There's no named individual in any of these papers. And I guess people will be presenting papers here as well.
Yes. Yes. There is going to be a poster presentation at the conference. That's going to be on the first day, on the 21st. You know, talking about relationship with patients, confidentiality is very, very key.
Of course. Yeah.
It is very, very key. You know, we are very, very mindful. It's part of what we call our quality assurance.
Sure.
You know, you have to be very careful how you deal with the patient, how you deliver the results to the patient, even talking to the patient. Yeah. These are very key aspects of laboratory work.
But when you go to most health centers, usually the lab scientists and all that, the patient, after they take your samples and all that, you don't get to see them again until when you go to the doctor. Unless if you go to a private lab, that is different. But when you go to the health centers, the way it is structured, whether private or government, the ones that I've been to anyway, you go to the doctor knows your problem, then you go to the lab, they take your samples and then test. The results then goes back to the doctor.
Yeah. You know, the issue about right now, technology is getting
advanced.
In most clinics now, private clinics, and even I think the public sector now, everything is centralized.
Yes.
You go to the doctor will write your lab request on the computer. So the lab technician will see it there.
Yes.
Yeah. When the results are done, it will be sent directly to the doctor. So there is no paperwork.
Yeah.
So all that is geared towards confidentiality. And we are not even allowed to talk to the patient about their results. Sometimes the patient will come and tell you, how is my result? Not result with Nakala. And then you don't say anything. You should not say anything.
When you say you mean the person who has taken it, not the doctor, because they can ask the doctor. Okay. Yes.
Not the lab scientist.
Not the lab technician or lab
scientist. You are not
scientist.
allowed.
Yes.
You are not allowed.
Yes.
Okay. So going back to the conference, why is this conference very important to the Gambia, and why most of the lab scientists or laboratory scientists and some of the key takeaways there?
It's very important. Like I said, first we are going to induct our own Gambian scientists.
Okay.
And these people are going to be, when they're inducted, they become fellows of the college, and they become sort of consultants in their field. Because these people have worked so many years. Some of them are PhD holders, and they've worked more than 30 years, 20 years in the lab. And the next thing they are going to do when the college starts training in the Gambia, they will be training budding scientists who are coming up. So that's the takeaway, The other thing is the college is going to collaborate with the institutions, the RVTH, Teaching Hospital, MRC, and there is going to be knowledge transfer. And some of the lecturers on the college, they are from the sub-region. It's going to be an online training, and you get expertise. There is going to be a lot of exchange. So it's not necessarily only Gambians will be lecturing, but you are going to have lecturers from Ghana, Nigeria, and it's a sort of a cross-fertilization.
Yes,
it's quite important.
Now, I'm not disappointed that you're here, but I am disappointed that Dr. Hadi Bah is not here, and I'll tell you why. In January last year, not of the Gambia chapter, but of the college itself, she was elected president. And I really wanted to ask her about that, but she's not here. Can you tell us something about Hadi? Well, that's quite a position.
That's a big plus. Dr. Hadi has
huge.
She has done a lot for the laboratory profession. The venue where she was, in fact, the president, I was at that meeting in Benin.
All right.
Okay, I'm also a fellow of the college.
All right.
So, it's a big plus. And when she was given the presidency, one of the things she told me was, before my term expires, I must make sure we create the Gambia chapter. And this is exactly what we are doing.
Excellent.
And she has, single-handedly done a lot.
Right.
For us, we are merely following her footsteps.
So, as I said, she's not here. So, can you tell us something about this person, Doctor? Her journey to where to get to such a prestigious appointment, please.
I worked with Dr. Hadi at the Royal Victoria Hospital, then Royal Victoria Hospital.
As it was then,
yes. Of course, we worked in different departments. I am by training clinical chemist, and she is a microbiologist.
Okay.
But we interacted a lot, and she is very, 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 very studious when it comes to her job. She has worked tremendously to get where she is. She later on left and went to do her PhD in UK.
Okay.
And from there, she came to the university, and she could have stayed in England, because I know she was offered a teaching position there.
I'm not surprised.
But she refused. She came to the Gambia here and started, I want to come back to the Gambia and teach at the university. And that's exactly what she is doing. And the other thing also was trying to spearhead the bringing of the West African College to the Gambia.
Right.
When she was made president, she called me. I was in my hotel because when they had the meeting, I was not there.
Okay, right.
She was made president. She called me, and the first thing she told me was, "I must make sure I bring the Gambia. I bring up the Gambia chapter, and also bring the training in the Gambia."
Okay.
So, in a nutshell, she has done a lot.
So regarding the chapter, is it likely to have a permanent office? What comes with making a chapter? And then the second kind of follow-up question, there'll be other countries that currently don't have chapters, but they'll be attending this, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, so will it have a permanent?
The Gambia office is going to have an office.
Right.
Yes, it's going to have an office because we are going to set up the office with the officials, the chairman, the secretary general, and the treasurer. We are going to be there, and Dr. Hadi, one of her tasks is to set up this chapter.
Okay.
And also Senegal, in fact, they are coming.
Okay.
From here, they are also trying to set up their own chapter.
Okay.
We had only
so
one.
So we're setting up before Senegal.
Yeah, actually, we are the third country. To set up
its own chapter.
Yes. So Gambia is. This time we are ahead of Senegal.
them.
They are coming, and they will. It will be a learning process for them.
Sure.
So when they go back, they will set up their own chapter. Sure. We are having 6 people coming from Senegal.
Sure.
Yeah, what I was going to say is it's good to hear Hadi's story anyway, choosing to come back to the Gambia and teach at the university and also serve, in the health sector. Because when you look at the health sector, one would say maybe the development is slow, but there has been progress, definitely, because you see a lot of, specialized doctors now trained in the country, which is something that I believe people will usually go out of the country to do. And that is thanks to some of you who are skilled, choose to come back home and actually go to the university and train, doctors in different fields. So, and I think just recently we graduated about, is it 16 or 20 doctors?
Yes.
20. Yes. And now that I see that also the...
and 9 dental surgeons.
9 dental. I was going to say that, dental for the first time. And I also see pharmacists also now, they want to create a school where the pharmacists also can have a degree program at the university. So all these things, I think, is good. But for me, the key takeaway there from what you just said about Hadi is choosing to come back home and have an impact on the knowledge of the ones who are back home. It's definitely going to go a long way in shaping the health sector.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Now, we've said almost everything. We've said the date, but we haven't said the place. Where is it happening?
It's going to be at the Kairaba Beach Hotel.
Kairaba Beach.
Yes. And the program will start at about 9:30 up till around 4 p.m. Yes.
Okay. Are you going to be as strict as the surgeons were? The surgeons started. They said 8 o'clock, and they started at 8 o'clock. So I don't know whether you're also going to be as strict on time.
Yes, we have informed all our delegates that time is crucial. So we want to make sure that everybody is on standby.
Okay.
And I think Dr. Hadiba has extended the invitation to QTV.
She has indeed.
We would be expecting your coverage.
We will be there. Yeah. We will be there. So, Samod Lamin Keita, thank you so much for taking the time to tell us about this. And both Bala and I think, have learned a lot today.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we'll go for another commercial break. And after that, we will speak to Demba Jallow, the IEC rep, about supplementary voter registration. Don't go away. Join us after the break. Hello and welcome back. You're watching QTV this morning on the 27th of April. And I'm not sure, did I mention that it's Sierra Leone Independence Day today?
Oh yeah, you did not.
I didn't. I'll probably get flogged by my saloon people.
Yesterday I was listening to the radio and I heard them, playing some nice saloon music. Today is Independence.
It is 27th of April, and I'm actually giving an online lecture later on about it, so I shouldn't have forgotten really.
Absolutely.
But once again, thank you, and we're now going to the final segment of today's show, and I really enjoyed that conversation with Mr. Keita, and now we have Demba Jallow, IEC rep, and we are of course talking about supplementary voter registration, which is on right now. Mr. Jallow, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ade, for having me.
Now, at some point we might go into local language. I think Bala will give you some questions in Fula.
No, Mr. Ade will do Fula. Don't worry.
That's fine.
But before we come to you, I mentioned when we're looking at the newspapers that this is very much in the news right now. I mean, literally front page news about the IEC, and we heard the statement from Ousainou Darboe saying that the IEC has done nothing illegal so far. But from your own viewpoint, can you tell us how the registration, the supplementary registration, has gone so far?
Thank you very much. The supplementary voter registration is going well, but not without challenges. I mean, even though that is normal, we expect that whatever you do, you are confronted with challenges here and there, but it is your responsibility to work around them and overcome them so that you achieve your goal. But so far, it's going as planned.
Now, one of the things we've heard, and we have it here, it says supplementary IEC flags 2,000 double registrations. I wonder if you could just explain to the viewers what double registration means.
Thank you very much. Double registration is like, if you looked at section 23 of the Election Act to 111 rather, of the election, it talks about the double registration, what is double registration, and also the penalties attached to it. When you talked about double registration, this is a situation wherein a claimant attempt or make his or her way registering more than once. I mean, in our electoral laws, is one man, one vote, and therefore you are expected to register only once. But in these situations, you see people registering 2-3 times in 2-3 different locations.
Right.
So that is considered double registration.
Okay.
Yes.
And this must be very difficult for you, because the reason I say this is because we once had a situation where one of our reporters, Lamin Alhaji Fanding Darboe, in fact, we used to make a joke about it. He covered a story where 4 of the people he interviewed in the story were called Lamin Darboe. You know, when he came back, we teased him about it. And so there are lots of people who have similar names here in the Gambia. I found that, you know, I went to an event on Saturday when the doctor, one of the new doctors, you mentioned new doctors, was called Dr. Jeneba Sonko. And of course we had Jeneba Sonko, our colleague, working here. So, you know, what's been the kind of difficulty around that?
And in our own case, and system is built in such a way that it's very easy for us to detect, even though not at an early stage. But I mean here, at the registration center, teams find it difficult to detect double registration because you sit on the spot because they don't have that access. You know, the system is built in such a way that everybody with your level. This is why different passwords. So I may have a password and access certain level of the system you may not have because of our different positions. So the registration clerk, the supervisor, the SRO, all of them have different level of access. So this is why at the team there, they will not be able to detect this double registration because, like, for example, I am seated here doing the registration here. Somebody else is at Africell or GRTS, another team is there doing it. So a claimant comes here, I register the person, and he or she rushes to another place. Those people will not know whether Demba has registered at QTV. Sure. But once we export, now we export on a daily basis, that registration team. Right. Then we have what we call weekly exportation. Okay. Now this weekly exportation, now the SROs, that is the senior registration officers, you know, we appoint senior registration officers and we assign them teams that they will be supervising. Okay. So now at the end of the week, on a weekly basis, they will go to all their teams and export the data from the teams, and now take it to the regional office. Okay. Now that is weekly exportation. Now the regional office now will send that data to Election House at the central database, wherein we have the server there, and it will be run there. Yeah. And once that is done, you will realize that if you register 10 times in 10 different locations. We've seen instances where people register in Combo here and they go all the way to Basse and register there, some change clothing and also even their names we've seen.
Sure. So this is an electronic cross-check?
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So we do matching, and once that is done, the system will show as people who are following us live on QTV right now, you will see clearly this person has registered 10 times and the system will show. Sure. So you know that it's the same person because the biometric is taken, the thumb print.
So my point is, okay, now that you flag all these 2,000 or more double voter registration, so what is next?
What's next is for Commission to come up and see what they will do about it, because the law is clear anyway. Section 111 says anybody who does a double registration should be prosecuted, and if found guilty, the charges or the fine is $500,000, 2 years imprisonment, and will be suspended for 10 years. That you will not be able to register, you will not be able to vote, and you will not be able to participate in elections.
So now is the Commission ready to prosecute these 2,000 or more that are already that the system have already flagged? Because this is serious, you know, it's a serious offense. So, and you know, we talk about the integrity of the entire process. So, is it coming out to say this number already have been flagged by the system? So, is the Commission already willing to prosecute, to go ahead with prosecution?
I'm sure Commission will come up with its position. I'm not that for Commission. Sure. That is for Commission. But I know, I agree with you in totality. That is a very serious crime. And also, some people do it just to test the waters. I believe they want to know whether definitely we are in charge and in control, and the system is...
Whether it works.
Exactly. Yeah. But, I mean, we have always proven ourselves, because from 2011 to date, if you follow, you will realize that we've always highlighted and indicated those who doing double registration. But you know, the Gambia, this Maslow syndrome, you know, Commission has always called people to say, look, you've done double registration, we know it is here. Come forward and tell us where you want to vote, so that we delete the rest. Okay. So some people will come, very few though. Others will choose not to come, then we will do it for them. Because the law is one man, one vote. Yeah, whether you come or not makes no difference. Commission will delete the rest and leave one for you there.
But I think it's high time then the Commission will set examples to avoid this. If not, like you said, people will take this for granted, and it's just going to, you know, make work very difficult for you.
I mean, Mr. Jallow called it maslaha, but maybe they're just being practical. Because if, for example, you decided to prosecute 2,000 people, that's going to be quite costly. And you know, and so I think they've taken a kind of pragmatic approach that let's delete from the system rather than take them to court and then, you know, impose the fine and so on. But
but also Gambians have to know that, you know, by law they should not do it. The law prohibits them from doing double registration. Because if you do it and you get away with it, somebody else do it, fine. It's good that we have a system, you know, that flags all these things. That is good to know. That's the positive side of it. Because I think I even mentioned it to Balde. I was on this show when you said you put out a release to, you know, talk to Gambians not to go in for double registration. You know, the law does not allow that. Then I told Balde, I think ISU should have a system to flag these things. We are not sure, we're having a conversation, but it's good that you clarify this, and it's good that the general public understands when you do double registration, you not get away with it, because the system will definitely flag it, you know.
Yes, I agree. You know, not only like, it's also a waste of resources.
Yeah.
You know, if you know, I believe IEC is the only institution in this country that will come to your backyard, give you a national document free of charge.
Yeah.
Even though there is no free lunch anyway. I know his budget from the taxpayers' money, but like you don't pay for it as an individual. So, and these cards, if you know, each card costs nothing less than $1,000. That is the PVC cards. With other documents and the time taken and all that stuff, just wasted like that. And what is illegal is illegal. Once you do that, you're violating the laws. So I think, yes. Even transfers replacement, the Election Act is telling you that Commission can charge, but we are doing it free of charge for Gambians. Yes, I think.
Fuller?
Yeah, that's good. It's important. Oh, you mean you want me to step in Fuller? I thought you were doing Fuller. Oh, okay. So you want me to step in for you? No problem.
Yeah, just this time.
Okay, no problem. Mr. Jallo, IEC, hande ko kanko woni do ko programme. Miɗo faala rek yewten seeɗa. Sengo golle mon den feno do mi nandi don wada register himbe be annanta ko ben loi oki droit fi be wa vote do election wondo arde do woni kala annanda ko Gambian ha para be dubi chapeau e jetati yaha dow ida hebi leading okima droit fi wawa hebude carte yaha vote na weldoma election kala ardo e ndi do leydi Gambia do feno do no mi nandi don wadde golle den fi wadugo register himbe be faala yewta jama on ko hondo woni caɗele ɗe heɓuɗon fendude wandi golle kala sino yaade yeeso hay joni caɗele ko ma wona ɓaawa hen so mi faala rek yewta yimɓe ɓen ko woni caɗele wonde heɓude golle ɗen kadi honno ne yarde fenduɗo sengo registration
a jarama golle no yarude no moƴƴi mi salmini musidɓe daroɓe ɗo fo o fewnuɗo QTV registration so nani registration ko fewniɗo ko supplementary registration men woni wadde so sa inni supplementary registration on ɓe andantuma ɓe heɓano 2021 registration yawtuɗo ɓe andantuma ɓe heɓano voters card ko ɓen foti arde ɓe ɗaɓɓa voters card because ko ɗon foti laaɓude taw because ko ɗum waɗi min heɓude komin winnata double registration so a nani double registration woni ɓe andantuma hoorema ɓe heɓuno 2021 ɓe ara kadi ɓe ɗaɓɓa o supplementary registration ɗo card voters card ɗi heɓuno ɗon 2021 ɗin no moƴƴi ha joni so you need not a fotani arde ɗaɓɓa this time around so majji o boni o kala ko foti heɓude on voters card aro innamen ne voters card am on majji walla voters card am on boni a yiyay ɗon min waɗante komin innata replacement ɗon kadi a yoɓata hay hunde kono double registration kala waɗo ɗum ko on tigui mo yakkude loi te charges on woni ha guluje 5 walla on tigui ya duuɓi ɗiɗi kaso walla kadi min waɗama bana bokkata e élection he duuɓi sappo so ɗum mo ɓe no foti renade ɗum so registration no wadde on no waɗi on rada ko team ji 100 men mari Gambia fof 100 teams ɓe andantuma ɓe yahay nokkule ɗin fof min heeɓi 730 registration centers and o registration yahay balɗe 44 44 days no fuɗɗi 8 April yahay ha 21st of May 8 April ndu lewru ndu wonɗen ɗo balɗe 8 fuɗɗi yahay ha lewru arondu balɗe 21 so inclusive min ala public holiday min ala weekends ñande o ñande min gollay from 8 to 5 so kala faalaɗo wadde register e waɗi qualified ko hombo no waɗi qualified ko Gambian section 13 of the Election Act subsection 1 inni hombo waɗi qualified pour waɗugol register woni on tigi ko ma wona Gambian force ɗum woni number 1 so on tigi ko ma heɓa duuɓi 18 walla sa heɓa duuɓi 18 December 5th wonta presidential election siko ndeññanande heɓata duuɓi 18 sa ida waɗi qualify pour ara o April o May waɗa register te on fota ɗon da windaka yeeso hay goto min komi Gambian so proof of citizenship kaydeji ɗin ay subsection 2 of section 13 inni on tigi ko ma heɓa birth certificate walla heɓa ID card walla heɓa passport walla heɓa kaydi ndi min innata attestation so a nani attestation woni kaydi ndi andantuma ko a yahay ka alkalima walla ka chef ɓe tampanama ɓe seedone an ka Gambian so a ɗi kaydi nayi sa heeɓi en goto so a ari registration team on no fotima wadde register
Okay, fendo minande registration no yade. Sandari e lady ning arwida on golla nyande o nyande ala dimas ala public holiday joni ko dulaji din fo wonno nan ka ko no wodi dulaji di wono ton e wattu so tawi ko non kadi so tawi on yeti ke jama on kadi ko honto wono ton so tawi on wattu yoni kadi
mi andi ko angale innata kon thief movement woni min jogi 100 teams woni timeje temedere kono sa ndari kamen foti yaade ɗon fof mi waɗa register ko nokkuli temeɗɗe jeɗɗi capantati 730 so a yiyay team ji ɗin ko ɓe aray ɗo ɓe heɓa ɗo 5-6 days walla si 10 days ɓe yawta kadi ɓe yaha nokku goo so amma annantuma an kam faala wadde register ko an darta hombo time team on arta side an so that you go and meet the team and get registered. Yes. Kono wona men wonay everywhere at the same time. No. Ko team ji din waɗay move. Si ɓe gayni ɗo ɓe yawta kadi. So an tigi an Gambia non ko an foti andude honde time team on arta side ma lando. Wawi landade IEC min heɓi officer ji sappo country o 10 regional offices. Right now voter education min wadde komin innata face to face. Woni regional offices ɓe yaade nokkul ɗin fof on nana speaker ji ɗin music on e mic ji ɗin motoji IEC ɓe yaade ɓe wadde meeting aji ɗum fof ko fi yimɓe ɓen ara ɓe lando kala ko andantuma laaɓani ara landoɗa wiya min ko ɗum mi faala ko honno ɓe haalanama so it's your responsibility too.
On laaɓi ko Mr Diallo hande wonani en ɗo ko IEC o iwi fi yewta sengo voter registration mo wonde en wadde fendo ɗo on so ndaari noon kala mo nanta wooli ɗo ka Gambian ay wi duuɓi sappo e jeetati walla December 5th ɗum woni December balle mum joyi si tawi tawa a heeɓi balɗi a heɓa duuɓi sappo e jeetati eɗa duwa heɓude oɗo carte noon no mari nafa fi kala o andantata wa Gambian sa andi noon aɗa jogui birth certificate ɗum woni kaydi jibinnaje walla eɗa jogui ID card wala kaydi mo andanta ko alkalima save jonata ma hollane an ka ɓiɗɗo leydi ni walla ka ɓiɗɗo saare sa nawi ɗum tawa heɓude o kaydi so no mari nafa fi enen foof heɓen oɗo voters card fi wawen wotude ɗi élection ji aroɗi e ndiɗo leydi Gambia. Mr. Ade, now I'll leave you to dwell in Mandinka. Anyway, mbali mandigo hani ko bidoro programme oɗo bi morning show ni aje ngambandike kambulaje kata kummayatale IEC le bijambi wala Mr Dialloti ni ajibe nyin temme wala IEC be voter registration wala wala mo momuli alon ko badaman carte wosoto wala momuli alon ko la carte o yasotol no filita wala momuli alon ko atinyate bulle fan safono wala mo multi alon ko nyin temme wala e be yayi kam banko karo bela pour ka imakoy ka carte o dila pour wi se carte fayo keno nyin carte fayo mun kana wala presidential local government aning national assembly Mr Diallo dum babulal don afomole nyin tembe wala do ko be tembe da jumal do kabrin ye nyin registration process o commencer
abarka baage comme ya fo nyame doko bita kan nyamale even do mamangol be siarine chocho be siarine bare amen doko kayo kata nyamale comme ya fo nyame fanan supplementary voter registration wala be keri nyum temmento ando niyamo supplementary voter registration wala registration to men yalon ko anata menu ma sotono la farangolem menu ma sotono 2021 wala nyanta fintila pour ka register nyem watin ko amma amari man sanji tanin say sotono o amari tamata no amantara banko kono jan 2021 kabrimbe registration o kekan o sula meme mutano fo ima wato sotono pour kana ka register so ñinu le molti men yalon ko wolle ñanta fintila pour ye register ni waru kantu ni wonten ni te ya sotono 2021 ite man ñanna tala ñen watin ko kantu ni ya ta don o kake double registration ni amo double registration wala minti ko ite ya sta signa fula fo signa saba o signa jama wodun luwa man songala wala tinandi momo ya sotono hanna tara filitanga atinya tale bang ite nyanta nala le ya fo moli ko ndede na sotono 2021 barna kato tinya tale o filtal so easy tal ite fenjola je timobe computer kono jibe la tendron ibajela itobe fintila piccobe findila ya fo telem nyinti ya fo ha den ya print ite fen jola wo easy tal wale fisiata ita a double registration soto kantunga encounter soto with one lady kanifing na tara office soto na konto nganyinin ka what can we do for you nse mone keno e awanye nonte natale laftan na katole transfer la ngai ko he transfer de janni mbakela foye kato soto akwatela kato filter ngai ko registra no muntole ako bolon kono ngai ko he woto foye ta bolon kono yela kato replace ni yela kato replace foye parata yena ja ya sawunde ako he woto foni ngata nga do ta ko den ketron you see so ngai ko no kana woke jokin li ngai ko defense ko do dile no fam paso yeta yela kato replace na bari double registration kanata woto sa registration o jumale qualified ta pour ka register gambiano bonyanta Senegal so gambiano le nyanta registration kela and secondly amari nyanta sanji tanin sai sotola ya register ibe sirin daming o iwuluta daming luwa nyene for section 13 subsection 1 2 3 Senegal so ako gambiano of age 18 years sanji tanin sai and secondly iwuluta daming o ibe sirin daming e register woto bare gambiani kaya daun amansa fe mo nyadala so latina ko foye kayto CDR kayto yitandiko ntemu Gambia dingot wobe kono kaytol kono birth certificate ID card passport wala e kayto men for attestation ikata timoto ye formo dila attestation formo de yewo sambayla alkalo ya wala CFO ya wo ya signé ya ka foko imu Gambia noti ni nyin kaydi nati clean nyin kono registration o timo nyante register andu menyanda Senegal loi subsection 3 ko the commission shall not reject any claimant or any person who comes to the registration center with any
valid document
one of these documents wala ngamen fonu command mini nite wo kilin soto ICT mol menu be sirinje ite barinola
bolon kayto mu yalon ko luwaye wala nyininka pour moya nati pour ka voters card soto nata ite o kaytol nata timmani ana senario ICT te balinola pour ka carte o soto
exactly luwaye wala fo ba sandu mol ka be mol je kanne wala problem o nafi mol be murumunu kan parading themselves as monitoring team whatever teams they call themselves. Fine, I know every Gambian is a police officer to an extent, but again, do I often say andile, you know, ikake nyadile and nyanta kela wati jumale and how war is clear. So it more balinola because war is amounts to interference. Angelul coming for interference. Nintenada ninna kaito. Yaw he demba job originale so demba manyana voras card soto. Bari demba kaito le findindi luwa men nyininka. Andu luwa ko ni demba wo kaito findindi IC man sembe soto pour ka demba bali. Pour ka bali. Sa ni de loda je ko hani demba ta soto. Sa de be luwa ta kay bulola. Ifanambe iko ibe correction okay ga andu ibe tinyaro fanan kega
ibe no wato man jamfa bari mbe ko makili na mavola just a quick one ya fo janela diamo ko ne ko IC temo jibela nyaadala ya fo mu gameno fo de gameno kayto wala bayta la fo mu gameno fo de gameno bari ngajale fanan diamo be taka wolo nyindi ko mol e kam molan ralo bondi ka fo ko nyi hani ya nyaada jibe dinni ngolom nyindi bari ni wo e kayto na de kayto mi la ko ay sanjita ni sa so waranteng December 5th battle la sanjitan ni sa so fo IC hani ka biga se wotano le ka fo hani nying ifindo kayto nyimfo ama yita ko ay nyin sanjo so
in 1 minute.
Yes, in 1 minute. You know loi abe na file. So wala tina mol nyanta loi nyim fahamla. Wotembo IC sa registrano. But registration man dang only at the registration center. Revising courts bijele. Analon wato ten sola pour ka dungoto. Bare atada na da revising court ye sole as a Gambian. Ni demba registra. And it proof sotoko demba manke Gambian o aman tanji tanin sai soto. Isitano revising court. So stages lem, steps lem. So it is step 10 tanola ya ke step 1 at level 1. Wole ka confusion on have. So wait for the revising court. Ni tata je, if you are able to prove beyond reasonable doubt and the court rules in your favor, then whether IEC likes it or not, demba tobe bola system oko.
Okay. So Mr. Jallow. Over to you, Mr. Ade.
Mr. Jallow. But thank you so much. And as with the previous guests, we've learned a lot. Thank you for coming. And Mr. Bala Kurusbali, thank you for stepping in at a very, very short notice. And to you, our viewers, thank you again for watching. Until we come your way again tomorrow. Goodbye.